Black, brown, and HBCU bound. Your source for news you can use. Let's shine a light on the 207 HBCUs where culture meets excellence.
Hi everybody, it is Yvonne Daniels again here for another episode of Black, Brown, and HBCU Bound. I am returning from a busy last couple of days. As promised, I did get a chance to go out to the campus of Howard University to interview a few students to address some of the concerns that people were having regarding crime on campus, and also some of the questions that some parents had regarding whether or not they should be sending their students to Howard University. It was cold in DC these last couple of days, so admittedly, where I wanted to be able to bring you, a quick tour of the campus and maybe a few of the buildings and dorms, I wasn't able to do that because it was just that cold in DC this weekend. But I did stop by the bookstore, and while in the bookstore, I had a chance to interview a few students. So I'm going to put those on in a little while. So I want you to take a look at that. We adjust things like academics there that they find the students who are attending there currently are finding with regards to the professors and the coursework. We also talked about what they thought of about campus life in general. And then finally, we did address crime. So I don't want to stay on too long. It's 3 or 4 interviews with, I think, four students. So sit back and take a listen. And those of you who've been accepted to Hampton, I plan to visit Hampton next or soon. But those of you who have students who have been accepted to Howard, the overall opinion of the students, and we didn't prompt them. They were just willing to talk and be have their answers publicly known. And the overall sentiment was Howard is a great place to be. So, and I can attest to that as well. My daughter, like I said, I won't stop saying it, did graduate from Howard. So her experience overall was favorable, and she too would encourage people to go if accepted. So sit back, stay tuned, and listen to what the young people have to say. Candid remarks from people already attending. What's better than that? Okay, sit tight. Hi guys, it's Yvonne Daniels again here for another episode of Black, Brown, and HBCU Bound. And today we're on the campus of Howard University, and I have a junior here who attends Howard University. Her name is Jordan. And I'm going to ask her a few questions because a lot of you out there have gotten acceptances to Howard and you're not sure if you want to come. So I found a real live student who's already here, guys, and she's going to answer a few questions that I prepared in advance. So Jordan, what is your general experience here at Howard University for the 3 years that you've been here?
So I'm currently a junior, like you said, in my 3rd year. I'm a junior health science student, pre-dental. And since being here, it hasn't been much of a change living up north. I'm from Richmond, Virginia, so not too far. I like the environment. I like DC. Howard is, a really good school, as we all know, particularly the health science department. I'm in the College of Nursing and Allied Health Sciences, and I really like it there. All the professors are great, and I'm really enjoying my experience at Howard.
Okay, great. See, we got a start for you guys. Okay, so if there's one thing you wish you knew before you came here, what would that be?
I would say all of the different people that I would experience is a thing that I don't think I was really prepared for. I think at Howard, I know coming to college is like you're always going to meet new people, but at Howard specifically, we have students from literally all over the world. So I think it was kind of a culture shock in the reference of like meeting new people, I would say. So,
okay,
yeah.
Okay, that's fair. And there are people from all over the country, like you said, and outside the country as well. So, okay, in terms of the professors, how would you rate the professors? Because I know it's not easy to get into Howard. They take the top of the creme of the creme. So, how would you rate the professors, the rigor of the academic program that you're in, and things like that? So, we're talking to people who are coming into Howard, and we want to know your experience in that area.
So to be transparent, I was coming into Howard, I was a biology student, and I had a hard time with the biology department and the sciences. So I would say that's one thing that you might have to do your research on. A lot of people do struggle with some of our professors. but it also challenges you to, grow independence, learn on your own, the things that we're supposed to do as students at Howard anyways. Transitioning into the health science department though, I love all of the professors. They seem really passionate about everything that they're teaching us. So I haven't had any problems in health science, but the science courses are kind of iffy. And as for other majors, being in the biology department, which is in the College of Arts and Sciences, I experienced other teachers. So I know, like with Afro-American Studies, we have really good professors there. I really enjoyed learning there. I would just say that the science department was my only hardship being here so far.
Okay. So this is good information. I can't wait to get it back to the audience at Black, Brown, and HBCU Bound. In terms of social life and extracurricular activities, are there a lot of clubs, organizations to get involved in, and have you gotten involved in any of them?
Yes, of course. There are so many things to do at Howard. Personally, when I first came here from out of high school, I was a student athlete, so I used to play volleyball, but I didn't want to play at the collegiate level. So we had the volleyball club, and that was something that I was really interested in. There's also clubs that are geared and catered towards your career. So I'm in the pre-dental society. I know that there's pre-law and different societies that will cater towards whatever careers you want to go into. Outside of that, modeling is a big thing at Howard. We're really big into fashion, so that's a big thing. We have a lot of social organizations which focus on mentorship and service. So those are big things at Howard, and there's a lot of things to get into.
Okay. Tell me about the food on campus. What do you think about the dorm life? Is there a best dorm that you can recommend? And how's the food? Because a lot of people ask about the food.
Okay, so to start off with the dorms, I personally live in Quad. That's an all-girls communal style dorm. So my experience in Quad was pretty good. People always worry about the bathrooms. I personally was one of those people. I was not somebody who wanted to share a bathroom, but the bathrooms in Quad were clean. I think it also depends on your floor. If your floor is clean, that's a big thing, but they were clean daily and things like that. Personally, I wanted to stay in either College Hall North or College Hall South. College Hall North is all girls and College Hall South is co-ed. And they're both built the same. Essentially, you have a roommate and y'all have a bathroom in the room, so there's no sharing of the bathroom. So that was my ideal situation. I think a lot of people like staying in College Hall North and College Hall South. But I was put in Quad, and I still enjoyed my experience. As for the boys, we do have two, like I said, we have two co-ed dorms, which are Annex and College Hall South, and they both have bathrooms inside your dorm. And then there's Drew and Cook, and those are communal style dorms for boys. So I can't really speak to the boys dorms, but haven't heard anything bad or anything like that. But yeah.
Okay, these are some great answers. The last question I'm going to ask you, there have been some reports of crime on Howard's campus. Howard is the open campus, as we all know, and there have been some recent reports of, especially this particular semester, I'm focusing on those. What are your general feelings of your overall safety while you're on Howard's campus, and can you speak to that?
So I will say that Howard tries their best. It has been instances where students have been compromised just because we are in a general, public campus. So I will say that, but they try. We have alerts that they send out to us, so we sign up for text message alerts whenever there's anything that goes on. Additionally, I know when I first moved in, they gave us a palm. It was this little thing that you could press that would call emergency services if you need it. And then outside of that, I would say we as students have to ensure our safety first, because it will be times where Howard is not the people that we can first go to. So I think
that's every
yeah. So I think it's important to kind of do your research on that part, especially being in the capital with everything that's going on. It's a lot. So yeah, I would say they try. They do up security measures in certain instances, but for the most part, they keep us alert. I will say that, sending out messages and things like that.
Okay, Jordan, thank you very much. Now we've been able to bring some information to students who may be a little apprehensive. They've gotten acceptances for Howard and other schools, and a lot of the parents are actually raising concerns and wanting to know how safe their students will be here. So you were able to shed some light in that area. And overall, would you recommend, just yes or no, would you recommend Howard for a person who's been accepted to come here and study?
I would totally recommend Howard. If I could decide again, I would decide to go to Howard 100 times over. And yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much. This has been another interview. We're going to try to grab some more people on campus, and stay tuned. But thank you very much, Jordan. I think you've been able to shed some light on what's going on here at Howard. We're going to get a few more interviews, and hopefully you'll tune into our podcast, Black, Brown, and HBCU Bound. And I know you young people don't do Facebook, but we have a Facebook group. Okay. So check us out, and maybe you'll see yourself on TV. Right. Well, not TV, but on the podcast.
Yeah, I'll be looking out.
All right. Good afternoon here. Guys, we have another student we're interviewing on Howard University's campus. We're going to bring some information from you from Lyric. She is going to be answering the same questions we did of the last student, and we're happy to be able to bring you a variety of opinions and interests so that you have a better way to gauge whether or not you think Howard University is for you. So this is for the Black, Brown, and HBCU podcast. We also have a Facebook page with 30,000 people, 30,000 members, mostly parents, who are trying to get information about their students who might be coming to Howard or any one of the illustrious 107 HBCUs. Yeah. So we're going to ask you a few questions. Okay. The first question we're going to ask you is your general experience in campus life. What's the best thing in your opinion, what's the best thing there is about attending Howard University, and how would you describe that in 3 words?
The best thing about attending Howard University would be the legacy. I would say legacy, network, and connections would be the best. So I feel like we're standing with a bunch of giants, Kamala Harris, Toni Morrison, all these great people who went to Howard, so we're standing on a great foundation, and they're always plugging Howard students and everything.
Before we go any further, I want you to tell them a little about who you are, what year, and what you're studying, just really briefly.
I'm a sophomore journalism major, sports administration minor, and I want to work in sports media, so anything with NFL or NBA.
Oh, good for you. I can't wait to see you in the NBA. Okay, so as far as academics and professors, how would you rate your professors and the teaching style and the quality of our education you get here academically, Howard?
Since I'm a sophomore, I'm now getting into more of my major classes, so I have a visual journalism class and a digital journalism class. They're both really fun. My visual journalism class, he works for CNN, so he's actually in the field and he's teaching us and helping us. And my digital journalism class, she's very hands-on as well. She has podcasts, she's written books. She teaches us everything that has to do with the media side of it, so I think they're really great. I love that the professors are actually in their field and they're teaching.
Okay, so you're getting a great education here in terms of the academics. How easy or difficult is it to get the classes that you want? Are they available when you need them at this time you need them, or you find yourself having to wait until upperclassmen, or how does that go?
I've actually been pretty lucky with that so far. I had to ask one professor because it was prereq to get into that class, but other than that, it's been pretty easy for me.
Okay, great. There are a lot of clubs and organizations. Do you get involved? What's your level of involvement, or what do you think about the availability or the variety of things that there are to do on campus here?
It's like since I'm a sophomore, I've learned from my freshman year. I think I would, if I was all freshman, to try to join the freshman organizations on campus. There's a lot of great network opportunities within that. Mm-hmm. I'm a part of the School Communications Council, so I have that, and also the Colorado Club, which is where I'm from. And Youth Justice Advocates is another program that I'm involved in that mentors detained youth in DC. There's so many clubs, I don't even think I know half of them, but I feel like it's important to get involved early because that helps you network.
Okay, great. In terms of social life and extracurricular activities, what do students do for fun on and off campus? And are there a lot? Well, we talked about clubs. What in terms of what you would see a student who's never visited here? How many opportunities are there for them to have a decent time aside from academics? Because that's why we're here. Mm-hmm. What do you see? How do you rate the ability to get involved with things on and off campus?
I feel like DC is a very walkable and free area district, so I think I'm not sure if there's anything. I know there's like food pantry and things that you can do off campus, but like for the fun part of it, you can always take the metro down to the National Mall, things like that. Just go to the Black History Museum, go to the art museums. U Street is also really cool. There's a lot of history there as well. So I think just getting out and walking, because you can walk everywhere.
That is a selling point. That's a selling point. In terms of the dorm life here, what's the best dorm in your opinion, and where do you live and why? And how's the food on campus?
My freshman year, I stayed in College Hall South, which is where the newer dorms. I liked it. It was cool. It was newer. I had my own bathroom. I shared with one person, unlike Quad, where you share with a bunch of girls on the floor. My friends live in Quad. They liked it, but I think it was cool to have my own bathroom and my own space. I'm with my roommate. I live in Axis now. It's one of the newer dorms. So we don't have a kitchen, which I wish I did, like my friends in Towers. But I think the dorms are good. They're pretty. I haven't had any problems. I know other people might have, but I've been lucky with that. And the dorm food is pretty good. I mean, I haven't been to the dining hall much this year, but last year it was fine. I would get a sandwich all the time, so I don't really have much variety, but it was pretty good, yeah.
My daughter was here. She graduated about maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and at the time when she was here, I know that there were issues with students being able to get on-campus housing. Mm-hmm. Has that been remedied at all?
I'll find out this year. We're applying for housing as I'm a junior, and we don't get lucky upperclassmen, so we'll see. And DC is a pretty expensive place to live, so it's my friends and I are trying to figure out what we're going to do. Hopefully we could get lucky with on-campus housing, but it's very unlikely. So I don't know if they really fixed it. I wish they had more on-campus housing options, but we'll see.
Okay, we'll check that out. Lastly, there have been reports of crime on campus. We all know Howard is an open campus, and just this semester alone, some people have expressed their concerns for the number of events that have gone on in terms of criminal activity on Howard's campus. How do you feel in terms of your safety, and what would you tell the people who are concerned with that as well, about how a student who's already on campus deals with that, and how they feel about their level of safety here?
Because I don't live in the same building as my friends, I often have to walk back and forth, and sometimes it's late at night, sometimes it's during the day. Just during the day, I'll perfectly fine walking by myself, because I know there's other people on campus walking around. At night, they like to walk with me back to my dorm because I'm a girl and it's pitch black out, so I always try to keep my head on the swivel, look behind me no matter what. I personally have felt pretty safe. I know when there's stuff going on, my friends are like always just checking behind them to see what's going on, but I felt pretty safe. I just gotta watch out for my surroundings, and I have headphones, but I make sure I don't wear them while I'm walking, so I know everything that's going on.
So there's a great interview, another great interview from another student. So I am doing this because I want you guys to get a sense from actual students. So there's nothing manufactured. You can get a real sense of how your student may fare at Howard University, where my daughter graduated from, and she got a great opportunity, a great education. So we know that Howard prepares students. He's now presently a student at Columbia University. So we know that academically, when these students leave here, the academic rigor is such that it prepares your student for either work life or to go on to medical law school or dental school. So we have another successful student here matriculating her way through Howard campus. And we're going to say thank you, and hopefully this will help steer you guys on whether or not you want to come on down to Howard. So thank you very much.
Of course.
Okay, guys, it's Yvonne Daniels here from Black, Brown, and HBCU Bound podcast. I am here with more students from Howard's campus, trying to do a good job giving you guys a bigger perspective of what life is like as a student at Howard University. We have 2 students here who happen to be boyfriend and girlfriend, so we caught them. That you can find love on Howard campus from successful people, or people who are going in the right direction as well, just so you know. But we have Josie here. She's a sophomore, and we have Fortune here, and he also is he's a freshman, and we're going to ask them some of the same questions to give you another perspective, especially a male perspective of things that might go on. We just want to preface it by telling you that Fortune is a transfer student, and he's going to give you a little bit an idea of how it is to transfer from a PWI into an HBCU. So they're both Howard students, and we're going to start off by asking questions, and I'm going to focus this one on Josie. So your general experience in campus life, what's the best thing about attending school here at Howard? And then could you describe that experience in 3 words?
I would say that the best thing about attending school here at Howard is the community. I would say, if I were to describe the community in 3 words, I would say it's trustworthy, it's very loyal, and it's very friendly here.
Okay, so those are pretty good words. And in terms of your experience on Howard's campus, coming from a PWI and being a transfer student, you can answer that same question just to refresh your memory. What the question was the best thing you could think of about attending university, and how you feel, what you can say could help another student who's wondering what campus life is like here.
Well, I'll say like the best thing about like being on this campus is like everyone is very proud about like what they believe in, and like they're very consistent about it, and like they're willing to go the guard for what they believe in. And I guess the difference between me traveling from a PWI and like Howard, I'll say like it's a lot more cultured. Howard's a little bit more cultured, maybe significantly cultured, and compared to PWI and stuff like that. So yeah.
Being on a campus of an HBCU and the experience of being able to compare that to a PWI, would you say you feel like you are at home, like you're part of a family? Do you feel embraced by the community, by the school community, and by the administrators and the professors here?
Yes. I would say, yeah, I definitely do feel welcome, and like it's very interesting, when like you're consistent surrounding people that look like you. So that's I think that's what I'd say about that.
Okay, well, I try to tell people that there's something to say for that. So I'm glad that I had the opportunity to interview somebody who had both experiences. In terms of your professors and the academics here at Howard, how would you rate your professors and the teaching quality that's here? I'm going to use
For me, I would give my professors a very high rating, simply because I've had some easier professors, I've had some more difficult professors, but when you really look into what they're doing stuff that's outside of just teaching. I've had professors who are doing research, cancer research. I've had professors who are doing studies in mathematics, and so I think that is a testament to the quality of professors that we have here.
From my recollection, when my daughter was here, her classes, where she took classes that were, of course, mainstream, a lot of times the classes that she would take, because she went here during the COVID years, so I was able to hear some of her classes. And what I liked about what I heard was a lot of the times where you have principals in whatever subject you're teaching, they related it to the Black experience a lot of times. So I did think, and I'm thinking that is probably true for HBCUs, and that would probably be more of the norm, so that the teachings that you get in the HBCU system is going to be, you're going to get your cores, but they're going to have an African HBCU flair, where when you compose or juxtapose a class from a PWI to an HBCU. So in terms of social life and extracurriculars, what do students do for fun on and off campus? I'm going to ask you that, and then secondly, I'm going to ask you, Fortune, are there a lot of clubs and organizations to get involved in? So I'm going to go ahead to you first.
So I will say that from my experience, and I think a lot of students here, what we do outside of class, we are either in clubs, because we are really involved in our campus. We do a lot of club work or community work. And then if we're not doing that, there's always something to do around here, because we are in the heart of DC and we're really close to the metro, which is super convenient.
Right.
So there are plenty of places to go. I've been to Pentagon City, I've been to U Street, I've been to all over the place, because it's just, we're in DC, so it's the perfect place to be.
Okay, and what do you think?
I mean, she took the word out of my mouth. Yeah, we are in that heart of DC, So like, there is a good amount of things to do. A lot of really good restaurants, to go to. So yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like a thumbs up from these two. Well, second last question is, how's dorm life? Do you guys live on campus?
Yes, I do.
And what do you think about dorm life in terms of which dorm is the best to live in, and also how the food is on campus?
Okay, so speaking of dorms, my freshman year, I lived in CHN, 221, for all of you who know. I will say that dorm was exceptional. I think it was very friendly. Again, it was a freshman dorm, so our RAs and our staff were always super involved in getting you outside of your dorm and meeting new people and meeting friends. And it's also kind of where a lot of the dorms are, so there's a lot of res life activities that go down there, which is super fun. And then now I currently live in Axis, which is more upperclassmen housing, and it's still the same type of quality, just the difference is you have, more room for things like kitchenware, and you kind of have like a half kitchen. So it kind of gives you more of an apartment-like living style. But that's what I would say. I enjoy living on campus.
And you, Fortune?
Well, actually, interesting enough, I'm off campus. But I'll definitely say, like from like just, seeing her doing the things like that, everything seems very, very, consistent and whatnot. So yeah, no complaints.
Okay, so now you guys have a male's perspective. The last question I'm going to ask, there have been some reports of some crime on campus, right? And a lot of parents are concerned. I would like to know from your perspective, since you're here every day, what do you feel about your overall safety while on campus? And do you feel as if campus is a place that parents can feel safe, feel comfortable sending their students to?
So I would say, as a perspective from a young woman in the city, there are concerns with your safety, and you have to be smart when you're outside. But I think that Howard does a good job of making sure that you are in the know of what's going on around you. They will constantly put out alerts if something is going on, if something is that you need to be aware of. And then lastly, I would say just go in groups. I've gone in groups, but I also go to work in DC, and I haven't encountered any problems. But I think you can feel confident that Howard will keep track of your kids. There are plenty programs put in place to make sure that your children are safe. I mean, as a freshman, we got palm devices that we could click if there was an incident that we needed to report. It'll call straight 911. So I will say that Howard is very proactive when it comes to making sure that the students are safe here.
Okay. And although you have big muscles, how do you feel while on campus? I know you can defend yourself. So, from a male's perspective, what do you think about safety on campus?
Obviously, the thing that she listed is, what Howard does, go out to do. Obviously, I believe there's always room for improvement. You know what I mean? I feel it's one thing they could do is because Howard is an open campus. So just I feel as if maybe not making, just heightening the unarmed security and making them armed, things like that. I know we already have we have HUPD and whatnot, but I feel like there could be room for improvement and just who's
who wanders on campus.
Yeah, who wanders on campus and whatnot.
That is the concern that I had here as a parent. I'm going to wrap this up, but I do want to say you got a good one. I like a guy that says what she said. But I'm going to wrap this up, guys, here. There are another 2 students here who are actively on Howard's campus, and hopefully their perspective is going to be helpful and letting you guys know a little bit more inside of what's going on here at Howard University. So we're going to wrap it up here and hopefully find some more students if the cameraman's arms don't fall off. Thank you very much, guys, and good luck to you in your future endeavors.
No problem.
So there you have it. You got a chance to hear from a few kids from there, not kids, but students. I got to stop saying kids. I look at all of them like my babies whenever I see these young people. And just on a side note, I went to an organization called Yes Girls Create, had a wonderful event for young girls, not to exclude the boys, because when I find events for boys, I will be bringing those to you as well. But there's a wonderful organization where this local to me called Yes Girls Create. And the creator of that program, Therese Myers, put on an event that was just fantastic for these young ladies. And all I could see was a sea of young Black, Brown, and HBCU bound students. And hopefully our young people are coming up to be able to do some fantastic things, and especially with programs like hers. I'll get into that a little later, because I did want to highlight some of the things that I saw there being a volunteer, serving as a volunteer for her organization this past Sunday. So that'll be in another video. But I did want you to know that wherever I go, I tend to just see HBCU bounds not HBCU bounds, but HBCUs in the future of our students. So on that note, I will wrap up here, but I'm glad to have been able to interview a few of the students on Howard's campus. Hopefully that brought you some information. So if you're on the fence, you're not sure. And we did touch on safety, because that was my reason for going. So the students did say that there were some safety measures that Howard was taking to keep the students safe, and their overall feeling of safety while they're on the campus. So take that and look forward to another episode of Black, Brown, and HBCU Bound. Again, if you like the vibe here, please subscribe, tell a friend, share on your social media, make a comment, leave a comment, tell me what you think about the podcast, what content you'd like to see. I'm willing to explore. As you know, we take our our topics out of the headlines of what what I'm reading in the Facebook group, the Black, Brown, and HBCU. Why can't I say that? The Black, Brown, and HBCU bound Facebook group. But if you guys want to see any content, if you'd like me to investigate anything, leave it in the comments. I'll check out the comments and we'll try to follow up accordingly. So, signing off for this episode. Look forward to seeing you again. Take care. Bye.
Black, brown, and HBCU bound. Your source for news you can use. Let's shine a light on the 207 HBCUs where culture meets excellence.